The faces on the photograph are faded, and I can't believe he looks so much like me. For it's been 10 years today since I left for old Cork Station, singing I won't be back till the road is done. For the rain never falls on the dusty diamond, and the driver finds it hard to change his mind. For the years have surely gone like the drays from old Cork Station, and I won't be back till the road is done. It seems like the sun comes up each morning. Well, it sets me up and takes it all away. For the dreaming by the light of the campfire at night, it ends with the burning by the day. For the rain never falls on the dusty diamond teeth, and the driver finds it hard to change his mind. For the years have surely gone like the drays from old Cork Station, and I won't be back till the road is done. Well, sometimes I think I'll settle back in Sydney, but it's been so long and it's hard to change me mind. For the cattle trails go on, and the fences roll forever, but I won't be back till the road is done. For the rain never falls on the dusty diamond teeth, and the driver finds it hard to change his mind. For the years have surely gone just like the drays from old Cork Station, and I won't be back till the road is done. For the rain never falls on the dusty diamond teeth, and the driver finds it hard to change his mind. For the years have surely gone just like the drays from old Cork Station, and I won't be back till the road is done. Won't be back till the road.
Good on you, Snowy.
We're set for the night, mate. Plenty of feed and water for the team.
Your bullocks are living off the fat of the land. Some may say it's a dirty transaction, breaking down a man's fence and helping yourself towards his.
Oh, it's different than crows. Before you cheekiest grass stealer on the track.
Yeah. Another thing I want you blokes to remember, it's a nice cat. It's our cat, Al and mine. Now, we don't mind you sharing it with us, but we don't want nothing personal like. Now, just relax around the fire. I'll tell you, it's a dirty transaction to be denying water to perishing beasts. And yet it's flaming well done. And it's a dirty transaction to persecute men for having no occupation but carting. That's what 9 cents of these flaming squatters do. And I reckon that bloke Brody, he's just one of the bloody 9.
Lay off. Before I was rudely interrupted, fancy remark that the fence be up again in the morning and Brody be none the wiser.
Yeah, well, that's all very well, Bill. But just in case you got some wrong thoughts about it, let me tell you this. God constructed cattle for living on grass, and the grass for them to live on. And last night, tonight and tomorrow night, these two fellas here, they got the choice between 2 dirty transactions. One's to let their bullocks starve, the other's to steal enough grass for them to live on. Like you. I often wonder myself when the allowance is made for them bullock drivers. Well, they're just like us poor bloody shearers. Supposed to earn enough dough and live a decent life before we flame and die.
Hey, Tomo. Have you got any tobacco for me?
Ah, nugget.
You know, when you get started, there's just nothing left for it but hard smoking.
Heading out nice and cool again, mate. These bullocks will be able to give a good account of themselves.
Grass up over your boots, and the bullocks and the horses are going at it like hogs in the pan. That's your soul, good to see it, my friend. You know, it is a fact that a bit of land does something to the squatters. It seems the more they own, the more miserable they get about a bit of grass for a team or a feed for a traveller.
For sure. Oh, what do you got there, Tomo?
That, son, it's a Bible. Got her in a swap with a bloke for a 5-legged goanna.
What?
You know, ignorant galoots, they'll tell you she's a pastor of nonsense. But let me tell you, the fella that wrote this here book, he forgot more than them coots ever learned.
So is it you that is trying to make the pearly gates, Tom?
I don't know about that. But maybe things will work themselves out in time. I'll stick it there some bloody way, I suppose.
No chance of you. Not if you read that for the rest of your life.
Nugget, come on. That's a big statement, mate. Considering this here book's taught me a lot of things I didn't know before.
Such as, for instance?
Well, about fellas. You take this Samson. He was the strongest fella ever lived. Solomon, well, he was the wisest. And who do you reckon was the foolishest?
The fella who got turned into salt.
Ain't come to that bloke yet. But let me tell you, Moses, he could have licked him bad. Mind you, Bible cracks him up. He was a decent sort of fella in his own soft-headed sort of way. Just didn't know his bloody way round.
He was an Israelite, weren't he?
No, son, no, he was Hebrew. Hebrew. Now, it seems that when he was a young fella, his brothers sold him to some merchant or other for 30 bob or so, on account of him always dreaming and not being able to keep his dreams to himself. After a time, he made his way down into Egypt, I think it was. Egypt, yeah, Egypt it was. And as far as I can make out from this here book, was a fellow by the name of Pero. Pero was busting up gold show down there.
Pero? Tomo, you got the name wrong, mate. I never heard of that bloke before.
Well, you've got to learn, son, don't you? You've got to learn. Now, this Pero, he had the wood on the Jews, and he drove them unmerciful until they didn't know what to do about it. And so they cried out unto the Lord. You know, back in them old days, the Lord used to mix himself up a lot with the people and go to no end of trouble trying to keep things straight.
Really? What made him change the habit now?
Ah, Tony, silly buggers like you asking foolish bloody questions. Now the Lord, he looks around down on this earth and he looks around for the foolishest bloke he could find to take on such a job as getting these Jews out of the predicament they got themselves in. The bloke he picked out was Moses. A fellow that might have been a big noise if he'd known where his piasters lay. Now this Moses, after he'd been fingered, he
He went and he barracks with a Pero to let the children go. But first off, Cody asks, quite simple like, for all hands to get 3 days spell and some free tucker. Well, when the Pero hears this, he looks at him and he says, "Gosh, truth," he says, "what are you coming at?" he says. He says, "You just get back there to them bloody children, and you tell them to buck into their work a bit bloody lively, or I'll straighten the buggers up." Now, when the Lord hears this, he backs Moses. And he sends the grasshoppers, flora, and all manner of curses upon the country. But it seems there was some sort of oversight, because it was the people that bloody were popular. And that bloody Pero didn't turn a hair.
Bald, was he?
No, son, no, baldness was a phenomenon that come along much later in history. Now, after a time, the Jews, they finally got clear. When the Pero hears about this, well, he's right stirred up about it. He rallies all hands and he seals them on to follow. And you know, here is where a thing took place that no living man had believed without he seen it for himself with his own eyes or read it in this here Bible. It seems when the Jews, when they come to the Red Sea, they're faced with all this water. They didn't know what to do. And all of a sudden, the water, she just forms up on both sides and they just walk straight across. Then, when Pero and his mob try to follow, they wallops back together again and they was well bloody had. It's unbelievable, isn't it? Don't know how it happened. Any rate, after they got across this here Red Sea, they made their way on into the land of Canaans. It was Canaans, land of Canaans. And there, Moses' spies have been on up ahead. They come back and they tell him, "Oh, there's plenty of feed and plenty of water up ahead." But them bloody Canaanites and the Rechabites, they weren't bloody sharing, I can tell you.
Well, it's all a parallel, isn't it, mates?
What do you mean?
Today we call them those fellas squatters.
Ah, you're right there, Nuggets. You're right, son.
You know, I just don't follow your reasoning though.
What's that?
About Moses being soft-headed.
Well, son, just let me tell you. It seems there was one day, Moses, he was off on some business or other with the Lord. And the Jews, they took off all their jewellery and they melted it down and they made themselves a golden calf.
Or what?
Yeah, big one. And there they was around this here calf and they were dancing around some sort of corroboree when up comes Moses. And what do you think he said? What do you think?
Got the car, hello.
No, sir, no. He seized it like a case of whiskey and customs, ground it down into dust, mixed it with water, and made them bloody drink it. And so goodbye to as much as would have kept him in clover for life. You know, he got worse as he grew older, poor bugger. He finished up dying up on top of a mountain like some poor old bloody swag. You know, man that might have been at the top of his tree if he'd collared just half the slants that come his way. Can't believe it.
There's somebody over there.
What is it?
G'day, fellas. Yeah, I saw you fly from the track.
Not Joe Collins.
Get out.
Joe.
How you doing, boys? Hey, how's the billy going?
Yeah, help yourself.
Good.
Something yet?
Nah, I ran out of tucker today and thought I'd do till I reach Reedy River tomorrow. And how you been going, Joe?
Oh, not so bad, I reckon. And what have you been doing these last 4 years, mate?
After I did my stretch, I drove cattle and worked in the sheds up north.
How did you get down to these parts?
Man, I took some fats for as far as Wilcannia and then struck south from there.
What made you come all the way down here, Joe? Is it a job you're after?
Oh, partly I'll be up at Brody's for the clip.
Well, good on you, Joe. We'll all be up there this season, son.
You said partly. Would the other part be a Sheila?
Yeah, you might be right at that, mate.
Well, you got me in. Tell us about it.
10 miles down Reedy River, one Sunday afternoon, I rode with Mary Campbell to that broad bright lagoon. We left our horses grazing while shadows climbed the peak and strolled beneath the she oaks of the banks of Rocky Creek. Then home along the river that night we rode a rail. until our weary horses drew closer side by side. 10 miles from Ryan's Crossing and 5 below the peak, I built a little homestead on the banks of Rocky Creek. I cleared the land and fenced it and plowed the rich red loam, and my first crop was all done when I brought Mary home. Now still down Reedy River, the grassy she-oak side, the water holes still mirror the pictures in the sky. The golden sand is drifting across the rocky bow, and over all forever goes sun and moon and stars.
What made you break it off?
It's a long story. All my fault, I reckon.
Come on, Dixon. It's a sad story, so don't you be worrying the man.
Some of us learn the hard way, I reckon.
You know, that reminds me of that story about Samson. Now, that was a fellow who had no end of trouble.
Hold your horses, Tomo. Now look here. That's a good yarn. But we had it last night.
I think I know that name, Mary Campbell. Mary? Oh, I knew a Mary once. She was a funny sort.
Boys!
Oh, gee.
What's Brody like to work for?
Brody's dead. Good as any other, I suppose, since we lost the strike.
Yeah. Gosh, the guts out us there, eh?
Yeah, the boys sure took a beating.
Some of us are still taking it.
Hey,
What the heck? Somebody else coming. Bloody hell, you get a bit of a patch of grass and everyone in the country coming in on it.
I saw your fire and thought I'd better tip you off. Brody's riding this way with a
Brody.
lot of skis.
God's sake.
Get your bullocks out of his paddock now or you'll be in trouble.
You want a hand, Dixon? Get that team out of here. You want a hand, mate? What's that, Joe? Come on. Can you blokes give us a hand to get our team out?
You're too late, fellas. Leave your stuff here, leave the boys, and leave the rest to me.
What's he talking about? Come on, bring it out round the fire. Just this one. I can look like behind. Come. I can look like behind. Oh, what the hell are you doing here? Who gave you permission to feed on my run?
This is a bad job, fenced down and all.
Well, you're right there, Glammer. It is a bad job, but look, the way it happened, Mr. Brody, is look, we got a bit of loading for Reedy River, you see. I don't care about that. I asked you what the hell you're doing on my run. Well, I was just about to explain it when you took the words right out of my mouth. As you know, Mr. Brody, the right road for us is down the main track to the cane grass swamp. Then you turn left up the Boolarooga track, but well, as it is, we got a bit pressed, you see, so we thought we'd just cut across here.
Good God, you thought you'd just cut across. Do you own this run?
Well, no, we don't, Mr. Guy Brody, but that's for bloody sure. But look, if we'd have thought you'd had any objections, we'd asked you leave. Well, that's what you should have done. You've acted like a damn thief. You'd have given us leave.
I'd have seen you in hell first. No damn bullock, he's making a thoroughfare of my run. I'm impounding your cattle for trespassing on my feed and water.
Well, you certainly got the power to do that, Mr. Brody.
And what's more, I want that fencing put up right away. Yeah.
All right, Glover, all right. We ain't never left a man's fence down yet. Now, it's this way, Mr. Brody. I don't deny we got in here in a sneaking way. I feel it. By hell I do. But if we hadn't watered the bullocks, they'd have dropped in their yokes by the
What
time-
happens to your bullocks doesn't interest me, except when they feed on my run.
Yeah, but how would you like to see their bones lying on the track every time you drove past? Bet you wouldn't like that, Mr. Brody.
Steve! God, someone set him off! Come on! Glover! Come on!
Bloody steers are going.
I thought old Joe would let us down there for a minute. I got in here and tell Brody that story about Moses.
Well, we better get our cattle out of here.
Oh,
Oh,
let's get the ball.
no worry, I'd say, mate. I reckon this Brody will be busy for the rest of the flaming night.
Oh, hey, watch out.
What brought you back, Joe?
When a man doesn't know where he's going, maybe there's not much else he can do.
You shouldn't have come.
Mary, when I got out, I swore I'd keep away. But there are some things you don't get over. Things like having a son and a home.
Those things were ours, Joe. But we lost them.
I'm sorry, Mary. It wasn't until after they busted a strike and threw us all in jail that I heard about you losing the baby.
I'm not holding it against you, Joe. It's just the way everything turned out.
You did the wrong thing by it, Mary. I know that now. How's our homestead going?
Overgrown. 5 years is a long time.
What about the Reedy Lagoon?
Beautiful as ever.
On the banks of the Reedy Lagoon. On the banks of the Reedy Lagoon. And where is old Frank? Why couldn't he write? And Johnny the kind-hearted fool. And Mac the old Scotsman. How's it really been going with you, Mary?
I do it right. I've got a job.
Where you been living?
At Reedy River.
Mary, I'll go as far as the track with you. After that, I'm going to help the boys with their skiing.
No, we're going on.
Hey, Tom, eh? Come in for a beer. You don't look like you got a friend in the world.
No, I'm okay. I'm okay. I got my mate here with me.
Okay, Tomo.
I've humped my bluey through all the states, with my old black Billy, the best of mates. For years I've camped and toiled and tramped over roads that are rough and hilly. I've carried me sensible, indispensable old black Billy. My old black Billy. My old black Billy. Whether the wind be warm or chilly, I always find when the shadows fall that my old black Billy's the best mate of all. I've carried me swag on the parched Paru, where the water's scarce and the houses few. Or many a track on the great outback, where the heat would drive you silly, with my plain and sensible, indispensable old black Billy. My old black Billy. My old black Billy. Whether the wind be warm or chilly, I always find when the shadows fall that the old black Billy's the best mate of all. When my tramping days at last are all, and I drop my swag at that golden door, St. Peter will stare when he sees me there, and then he'll say, poor wandering Willie, come in with your sensible, indispensable old black Billy. My old black Billy. My old black Billy. Whether the wind be warm or chilly, I always find when the shadows fall that me old black Billy's the best mate of all.
I enjoyed your song immensely.
Well, thank you, Mum. Thank you.
I'm the school teacher, you know. We're having a social next week at the schoolhouse. You might like to give an item.
Oh, gee, no. Not me, Mum. Oh, no. Besides, I'm a bit of a rolling stone. I don't know where I'll be this time next week.
Do come. There'll be plenty to eat and drink.
What day did you say that was, Mum?
Wednesday at 8.
I'll be there. 7:30. Thank you, Mum.
G'day, Tom.
Hello, Rosie.
The boys are in the bar.
Oh, g'day. G'day. G'day, Mum.
Goodbye. A most colourful character, Rose. A typical true
Miss Andrews. Let's go round to the garden and I'll cut you a rose.
Most kind,
Yes.
most kind.
Great.
You know, I think this social is probably going to be one of the best for you.
Yes, I do believe.
Oh, g'day, Reen.
Oh, hi, Joe.
I've heard things haven't been going so well. Come on, tell me about it.
Now up and down the sidling ground, the great black crows are flying, and down below the spur I know another milker's dying. The crops have withered from the ground, the tank's clay bed is glaring, but from my heart no tear nor sound, for I have gone past caring, past bothering or caring, past weeping or despairing, and from my heart no tear nor sound, for I have gone past caring. Through death and trouble turn about, through hopeless desolation, through flood and fever, fire and drought, slavery and starvation, through childbirth, sickness, hurt and blight, nervousness and scaring, through being left alone at night, I've come to be past caring, past bothering or caring, past weeping or despairing. Through being left alone at night, I've come to be past caring. Our first child in days like these, a cruel week in dying, all day upon her father's knee, or on my poor breast lying. The tears we shed, the prayers we said, were awful, wild, despairing. I've pulled 3 through and buried 2 since then, and I'm past caring, past bothering or caring, past weeping or despairing. I've pulled 3 through and buried 2 since then, and I'm past caring. It was 10 years first, then came the worst, all for a barren clearing. I swear I thought my heart would burst when first my man went shearing. He's droving in the great northwest, and I don't know how he's faring. And I, the one that loved him best, has grown to be past caring, past bothering or caring, past weeping or despairing. And I, the one that loved him best, has grown to be past caring. My eyes are dry, I cannot cry, I have no heart for breaking, and where it was in days gone by, just a dull and empty aching. My last boys run away from me, I know my temper's wearing, and now I only wish to be beyond all signs of caring, past bothering or caring, past weeping or despairing, and now I only wish to be beyond all signs of caring.
So sorry, Reen, I had no idea. there's one thing I've learned, the past is the past. Why don't you sing us something that'll cheer us both up?
Oh, this is a song of the old lights that came to my heart like a hymn. And this is a song for the old lights, the lights that we thought grew dim. It came to my heart to comfort me, and I pass it along to you. And here is a hand to the dear old friend who turns up as good as new. Oh, this is a song for the campfire, out west where the stars shine bright. And this is a song for the campfire, where the old mates yarn tonight, where the old mates yarn of the old days, and their numbers are all too few. And here is a song for the brave old times that will turn up as good as new. Oh, this is a song for the black sheep that fled from town. And this is a song for the brave heart that lived it down. And this is a song for the battler who sees it through. And this is a song for the broken heart that will turn up as good as new. Oh, this is a song for the brave mates, be he bushman, Scot or us. A song for the mates we will stick to, for the mates who have stuck to us. And this is a song for the old creed, to do as a man should do, till the Lord takes us all to a wider world. We'll turn up as good as new. Till the Lord takes us all to a wider world, we'll turn up as good as new.
Good on you, Rain.
That's beautiful. Thank you. Ruth, look who it is. Joe Collins? Oh, Joe. So good to see you. Oh, how have you been?
It's good to see you too, Rose. It's great to be back.
Oh, where have you been all these years?
You know how it is, Rose.
Well, yeah, we knew you were in school for a while, but a lot of people wondered what happened to you afterwards. You know, that Mary in particular.
You mean to say she missed me?
That's not for me to say, but a girl can get awful lonely out here.
So can a man, Rose, but probably all so much water under the bridge now.
That's only something that you can find out. If you want a tip, Joe, might be all the worth of finding, huh?
Hey, Rosie, we're dying of thirst in here. Come on, Rosie. What are you
Take care of
doing?
yourself, Rose.
You too, bye-bye.
My stomach thinks my throat's cut.
Oh,
Come on,
all
Rose.
right.
I'd like to write a song about it.
You know you
boys. Puff's run out of beer, mate. Well, I've got a grog for you anyway. I'll wash the dust down.
Ah, that's good.
It is, isn't it? I got kind of an idea. I don't know if boys what we would think, but since the kid hasn't shouted us in the end, I consider it correct and proper for him to turn it on.
Yeah. It's a pleasure and a privilege, Tony.
Such a kid. Beers is coming.
Hurry it up.
So, what's been doing in Reedy River, mates? I could hear the singing way down the track.
Big doings. Cockies letting their heads go today. Eating, drinking.
They're eating and drinking, but tomorrow they die, or they get taken over by the bats.
Which is the same thing. A certain fate for a cocky.
Where are you, blokes?
There he goes.
Is that Tom?
Where are you?
Yourself?
Oh, stress! Help! Help! All these bloody bush pubs, the flaming same, you know. No brass rails, no bloody elbow room, no bloody immensities at all. You know, if you drink inside the flaming things, excuse me, if you drink inside it, it's so damn crowded, you pick up your glasses, just like you to shove it in some other bloke's bloody mouth.
Still, Tomo, thank God for Charlie Mops, the man who invented beer.
Hey, well,
A long time ago, way back in history, when all they had to drink was nothing but cups of tea, along came a man by the name of Charlie Mops, and he invented a wonderful drink and he gave it the name of hops. So he ought to be an admiral, a sultan or a king, and to his praises we should always sing. And look what he's done for us, he's filled us up with cheer. God bless Charlie Mops, the man who invented beer. On the day that Charlie died, he knocked on heaven's gate. He said to St. Peter, tell me how I rate. St. Peter looked at him and he said, now who are you? He said, I'm Charlie Mops, and Peter sent him right through. Well, he ought to be an admiral, a sultan or a king, and to his praises we should always sing. And look what he's done for us, he's filled us up with cheer. God bless Charlie Mops, the man who invented beer. At the castle reign, the first and last of shanty pubs. Of one thing you can be sure, it's Charlie's beer they sell. So come along, you lucky chaps. At 10 o'clock she stops for 5 short seconds. Remember Charlie Mops. A 1, a 2, a 3, 4, 5. Oh, he ought to be an admiral, a sultan or a king, and to his praises we should always sing. And look what he has done for us, he filled us up with cheer. God bless Charlie Mops, the man who invented beer.
my best friend. Hey, Tony, I'll smoke it.
Yeah, save our lives here, mate. Oh, right.
Mate, you got a break.
Of course they do.
Thank you. Oh,
Drink up, my friends, for tomorrow we work. Sure, it's been a long time since some of us run a blade over here.
We ain't seen inside of a shed too often these last few seasons, Joe.
Yeah, I reckon you got a few mates there, Bill.
Well, the strike's over, and there ain't much left of the union.
Hey, the strike's over, but the fight is not. And whoever says it is a thieving, lying scoundrel.
Yeah, you know what I reckon? I reckon if we don't wash out this season, then bloody squatters, they'll be shearing us and giving the check to the flaming sheep.
Yeah, well, things will be cooking the sheds by now.
Yeah, and the machines are not helping at all.
What the machines are doing, describes about the way things are going.
Listen. But when you blokes start using your flaming heads for something other than keeping your bloody ears apart, you'll find it's the machine ain't your flaming enemy. No.
Yeah, you might be right there, Tomo, but the sheds will still have to be organised again.
I never had much time for them cockies. But I reckon a man would be better off with an acre or two of land.
paralysis or something?
Touch of the shorts. Someone else have to sling for the next.
Shearing's a crook life, whichever way you look at it.
Now, why would you be saying that, Joe? Is it you that is turning cocky on us now?
You're always on the move, Tony. Your home's a lousy shed and never an acre of land to call your own. At the end of the season, you pick up your cheque, you live like a king for a month, and then you hump your bluey till the season breaks. It's no good. Let me tell you, there's nothing like the feel of a plough and the smell of the freshly turned over earth on your own bit of land. It's just...
Yeah, and don't you be forgetting the feeding of the pig and the little darling at 4 o'clock in the morning up to your hocks in mud and all. It's a grand life for a cocky.
I'm a bit your way, Tony. And besides, look how many of them poor flaming cockies went bust when the old boom burst, eh? Didn't have a bloody feather to fly with, none of them.
Nor did we, for that matter.
Yes, but it didn't take the heart out of us like some of the poor devils.
Well, many a heart has been broken since 1891.
And not all of them are cockies.
You're right, Nugget. A dark and troublesome time, of course.
Loosen your purse strings, Tomo.
Oh, all right, mate. I'll just have a look. Where's Rose? Where are you, love?
Yeah, I'm here, Tomo.
Yeah. Give the boys a drink. Drink for the boys.
Let's have
Yeah,
one
all right, mate, all right.
to our mates of 91.
The price of wool was falling in 1891. The man who owned the acres saw something must be done. We'll break the Shearers' Union and show our masters still. And they'll take the terms we give them, or we'll find the men who will. From Claremont to Margolden, the shearers' hands were full. 10,000 blades were ready to strip the greasy wool. When through the west like thunder rang out the Union's call, the sheds will be sure Union, or they won't be sure at all. Oh, Billy Lane was with them, his words were like a flame. The flag of blue above them, they spoke Eureka's name. Tomorrow, said the squatters, you'll find it does not pay. We're bringing up free laborers to get the clip away. Tomorrow, said the shearers, they may not be so keen. We can mount 3,000 horsemen to show them what we mean. Then we'll pack the West with troopers from Burke to Charterstown. You can have your fill of speeches, but the final strength is ours. Be damned to your 6-shooters, your troopers and police. The sheep are getting heavy, the burr is in the fleece. Then if Nordenfeldt and Gatling won't bring you to your knees, we'll find a law the squatters said that's made for times like these.
To trial at Rockhampton, the 40 men were brought. The judge had got his orders, the squatters owned the court.
But for every man was sentenced, 1,000 won't forget.
Brody.
Morning,
Yeah,
fellas.
everybody plays. Oh, here we go. Yeah, here we go.
What are you up? Glad to see you up. I've been round.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Sell us.
Maybe I will.
I've been a wild road for many a year, and I spent all my money on whiskey and beer. And now I'm returned with gold in great store, and I never will play the wild rover no more. And it's no, nay, never. No, nay, never, no more will I play the wild rover. No, never, no more. I went into a shanty I used to frequent, and I told the landlady my money was spent. I asked her for credit, she answered me nay. Such a custom as yours I can find every day, and it's no, nay, never. No, nay, never, no more will I play the wild rover. No, never, no more. Then I drew from my pocket 10 sovereigns bright, and the landlady's eyes went wide with delight. She said, I have whiskey and wines of the best, and those words that I told you were only in jest. And it's no, nay, never. No, nay, never, no more will I play the wild rover. No, never, no more. I'll go home to my parents, confess what I've done, and I'll ask them to pardon their prodigal son. And if they will do so as often before, then I never will play the wild rover no more. And it's no, nay, never. No, nay, never, no more will I play the wild rover. No, never, no more. Let me hear it this time, my man. And it's no, nay, never. No, nay, never, no more will I play the wild rover. No, never.
Well, we're only a small team, fellas. I reckon Brody will need more than us to handle the clip.
Oh, I hear he's got another team on the way.
Has it?
Yeah.
Where would they be coming from? Would they be blacklegs now?
I don't know, got me down.
Well, things are in a hell of a mess. When you don't know who's in the union or who ain't, unless they got earmarks, like Tomo here.
Oh, it's enough of your bloody poor fella, bigger and snowy.
Hey, you calling me ignorant? You mutton-headed son of a crutcher.
What? Nobody calls me a bloody creature.
Come on!
Get on! Come on, let me go!
Stop it! You're both nice and educated fellows. You wouldn't be fighting over something like this, would you? Huh? Would you? Plus, if you think about it, Tom, Victoria's got a lot to be said for.
Yeah, what?
Where else would they breed a broth of a boy like Ned Kelly? A man who'd take a dozen of policemen at the drop of a hat.
Yeah, all right. I suppose you got a bloody point there, Tony.
All right.
Now, Kelly, now he was a bloke in a line of business, and he really
Tomo! That was bush ranging, mate. What about our business? Shearing.
Oh, yeah, that's us.
Out on the boards, the old shearer stands, grasping his shears in his thin bony hands. Fixed is his gaze on a bare-bellied yo, and glory in the air, so whirling in the ring a go. Click go the shears, boys, click, click, click.
across of the board with his eyes everywhere. Notes swellishly as it comes through the screen, paying strict attention that it's taken off clean. Click go the shears, boys, click, click, click. Wide is his blow and his hands move quick. The ringer looks around and he's beaten by a blow, and curses the old snagger with the bare belly, yo. The town boy is there and he's waiting in demand, with his black and top on his tarry hand. Sees one old sheep with a cut upon its back, and here is what he's waiting for. It's tie here, Jack. Quick go the shears, boys, click, click, click. Wide as his blow and his hands move quick.
The ringer looks around and he's
Beaten by a blow, and curses the old snagger with the bare-bellied yo. Shearing is over, and we've all got our checks, so roll up your swags, boys, and on the tracks. The first pub we come to, it's there we'll have the spree, and everyone that comes along, it's come and drink with me. Click go the shears, boys, click, click, click. Wide is his blow and his hands move quick. The ringer looks around and he's beaten by a blow, and curses the old snagger with the bare belly yo. Click go the shears, boys, click, click, click. Wide is his blow and his hands move quick. The ringer looks around and he's beaten by a blow, and curses the old snagger with the bare belly yo. Hey!
Hello, boys.
G'day.
I heard you're in. I thought we'd better have a bit of a yarn. You'll find your quarters so clean and comfortable. The cook's old Paddy Maloney, so you'll have no problem with the tucker.
Good, I reckon he's the best dab cook around the sheds.
I agree. I'll work down the road at him, but I offered him £1 a week more, so
Good
we
on you.
started other day.
Good on you.
Now you'll have no complaints about the food, but if you do have a complaint, bring it to me. Otherwise, old Paddy might walk out on it.
Touch the old bugger.
All right, well, that's about that. We start the clip in the morning. Any questions?
What's the contract?
Well, you work under our agreement.
Oh, yeah? What agreement may that be?
The pastoralist.
Hang on. The union's not a party to that.
Oh, look, fellas. There's been nothing but strikes for the last 4 years. And you know who won? Now, the big companies have brought down this agreement, and I have to abide by it. Let's not fight over it.
The agreement don't recognise the union.
Look, we lost the fight and we've been kicked around, but we are not working with blacklegs.
That's right, boys. We share union.
Let's get together on this. Hey, come on, your union's smashed and your leaders are all in jail. And look, I'm paying union rates. And what do you say?
What do you reckon?
Well, look, if you work elsewhere, you'll be working under the same agreement. All right? And conditions here are the best there is in the bush. Think about it. Yeah.
Just bloody forget it, he says.
Look, Bar Colden ain't forgotten, nor will it ever be.
And know what followed? Tramping up and down the country to police eat your heels. You're fed up with the stink of heat and flies. You get that lumber to the side of the shears again.
Yeah, but most of everything, we do not work with blacklegs.
Right.
The union said go back to work, didn't it?
On squatters' terms.
On the best terms we can get. The strike's over. We've got to reorganise the sheds.
Reorganize blacklegs. Is that what you're telling us now?
The black legs are in the sheds, aren't they?
Hey, listen. I think it is important to remember that we didn't lose the fight. The leaders lost it for us. Wasn't it them who said no violence? No violence at Barcolden! And there they were, the redcoats, standing off with the Gatling guns and all. No violence to be said! And the redcoats standing off and shooting us down like pigeons. And you know what they're telling us now? You know what they're telling us now? Do the best for yourself. That's what they're telling us now. Well, if that means cutting each other's throat by working non-union, you can count me out.
Me too.
That's all very well, mates, but we've got to fight and win. Brody said he'd pay the union rate, didn't he?
Yeah? But he used the blacklegs to cut the rate.
Wasn't that the cause of the fight from the beginning? And they smashed us. Now the fight's over, right? We've got to rebuild the sheds from the bottom up.
Haven't I heard that sort of talk before? From rats.
Come on, Tony. Lay off.
One in, all in. That's the law of the sheds.
May my mother, God bless her soul, curse me for the rest of my days if I work with blacklegs.
Oh, blackleg is a word, Tony. We've got to stop thinking words and start...
No, Joe! Blacklegs is a thing you smell. You heard what Nugget said. It's the law of the shed. One in, all in.
That's right.
Are you with us or not?
Are you with the union or not? The union said that we...
Shake, we are the union! Me and this man, we are the union!
The union's busted! For God's sake, use your head and see that!
Then what are you doing here? What are you doing here, Joe? Why are you not with Brody drinking to his death? This man and me, we know what union is. And you, my friend, you're not part of it.
You're not making sense, Tony. You're just not making sense.
College!
Yeah, Tony?
I've got a present. I've got a present from your working mates. Here. What is it, Collins? Did jail take the guts out of you?
Come on. That's enough.
The man is a rat! He deserves to be bashed to hell and all!
Listen, that's enough out of you, Tony. Right, boys. What are we to do?
What do you mean, what we're gonna do? What we're gonna do indeed?
Listen, I've had enough out of you, Tony. Just lay off, or I'll bloody flatten you. What are we going to do, boys?
We'll stand Brody up until he agrees to share union.
Yeah, but what if Joe's right?
Brody needs his ball chop. Walk off now, he'll be in a fix. So come to here.
Yeah, well, does anyone disagree with that?
No, man. That's all we can do.
All right, grab your swags, boys.
And then you will see them in
What are you doing here, Mary?
I work here.
You mean to say we're working for the same boss?
That's right. Any objections?
Of course not, but why didn't you tell me last night?
Well, I thought I'd give you a surprise. Tell me, did I?
You certainly did, Mary. Was that the real reason?
Well, I thought that maybe if...
Cross your heart and hope to die, Mary.
All right, I'll be honest, Joe. I thought you might not come back if you knew I was here. Not for your own reasons, but so as not to embarrass me.
You might be right at that, Mary, but glad I came.
I'm glad too, Joe. So, how have the years treated you?
Oh, I'm not complaining. Sometimes it was hard going, sometimes easy going. A few things I haven't done, from droving in the inland to shearing in the sheds up north, but
But what, Joe?
I left too much of my life behind in Reedy River. Our life, Mary. It kept pulling me back until I just had to come back. So how have things really gone, Mary?
Much the same. Oh, I mean, I haven't been droving or shearing, but everything just came to a full stop when we broke up.
So what's the old solution looking like?
The fencing's down and the grass is knee-high. I mean, no one's touched it in all these years.
What about our old house?
Well, the house is all right, Joe. You see, I moved back some time ago. It was actually funny. See, our old dog wouldn't leave, and going back every day to feed him just forced me to face up to things again. Till one day I went back and I stayed.
I wish I'd known that, Mary.
Whether you came back or not, that was up to you.
But that's all I did want. To come home. Life just takes some queer twists and turns.
Well, that's the way it got us. Twisted up.
I'm gonna go check out the bunkhouse.
Somehow it just seems so long ago now. I could never believe the things you believed in. And you, it was the union. It's always the union. That was the start of the trouble between us. And that's how it ended when you left that last night.
Hey, g'day, Mary. What's for supper?
Steak and onions. Reckon you've earned it?
Oh, well, I reckon so. Oh, and I can do with it too. That bush today was shoulder high. But I had it sorted by the time I finished.
Oh, why break your back over it, Joe? There's no hurry. Shearing at Wilson's doesn't start for a week yet. What's on your mind, Joe? You look worried.
Yeah, Mary.
Well, you haven't fallen out with Wilson.
No, it's nothing like that.
So what's happened, Joe?
I'm not starting at Wilson's, Mary.
Why not? I mean, the money's not that bad, and God knows we need it with the baby coming along. I mean, what's gone wrong, Joe?
It's nothing like that, Mary. The job's there for me whenever I want it. But there's trouble in the sheds up north. Big trouble.
How does that concern us? That there's been no trouble around here for some time now.
The whole country's on the rocks, Mary. The banks are going broke. The bottom's fallen out of the wool market. The squatters
believe that now's as good a time as any to take us on.
Well, maybe they'll work out a compromise. I mean, they've done it before.
It takes two to do that, Mary. The big companies are out to smash the union by hook or by crook, and it's getting pretty dirty. They're accusing us of starting a revolution. They're whipping up public opinion about us, and they're forcing in the scabs to force our hands.
Well, why do you have to be dragged into it?
This is the biggest fight we face, Mary. The union's called on all members to stand by Bar Calden. That's the battleground, and there'll be no holds barred.
And you're going.
I've been in this from the beginning, Mary. I can't back out now. It's a testing time for us all.
But you can't go, Joe. Surely you see that. If I didn't love you so much, I wouldn't feel so bad about it, but we're not doing so badly on our bit of land and what you pick up on the side. And here you are throwing everything away. And for what? For the union?
I'm not throwing anything away, Mary. I'll be back as soon as the fight's over.
And how long will that be?
The leaders reckon it shouldn't take more than a month or so. Don't take it out on the union, Mary.
I'm not against the union. I'm not saying I don't have a few hard thoughts about your leaders, but all I'm asking is what every woman has a right to ask. That her husband be around to take care of her when she has her baby. Can't you see that, Joe? It's more than just you and me now.
I know, Mary, but there's no need to worry. We'll win this fight in double quick time as long as no man backs down, and that means me as well as any other man.
I've never stood in your way before, Joe. When it came to a strike or anything else, but this time is different. This time I've got a say in what you're going to do, union or no union.
Mary, if we lose this fight, they'll have us on the breadline. There'll be scabs in the sheds from one end of the country to the other. Surely you must see that.
All I can see right now is your place is here with me and not where your union leaders might want to send you.
But you know what we're fighting for, Mary. It's for you and a million wives like you and their children, the 3 square meals a day and the right to a decent life. The problem is you've never understood that it's more than just the squatters against the shearers. It's against the whole system. It's crooked from beginning to end like every other bloody thing.
There's no need to curse and swear about it. And maybe I don't understand. And maybe you wouldn't understand either in my position, but just try and see it from my point of view.
I'm sorry, Mary. You're the best wife in the world. But I'm just not much of a husband. And that's about the strength of it.
Does that mean you're going, Joe?
That's not bad inside, Mary. Mary? It's not bad inside.
Oh, yeah. Freddie's boast is he looks after his men better than any other squatter.
Yeah, so I've heard. But how do you find him?
Oh, he's fair enough according to his own lights.
Supposing someone has different lights?
Then he's hard. Hard as granite and ruthless. Let's talk about us, Joe.
There's nothing I want more, Mary.
I've been thinking things over since I saw you last night, and do you think people get a second chance at happiness?
Why not?
Difficult people like us.
You were never in that class, Mary. And as for me, these last few years have really taught me a lot.
I've had my lessons too. When I lost realised that if a man believes in a cause, then he has to fight for it. There'd be no happiness for you here when your mates were being shot down.
Before I got out, I wrote you a letter saying I wanted a chance to make everything all right. When I didn't get a reply, I thought it was over.
I answered it. You'd already been released. My letter was returned, addressed unknown.
Well, what did the letter say?
Just this. It's Brody, I better go.
Hello, Mary. Where are the men?
They've taken off.
Hawked out, eh?
It was a question of sharing union or else.
The union's smashed. When are they going to wake up to that? Oh, well, this means we'll have to start the clip later in the morning when the other bunch arrives.
Suppose they're a non-union bunch too, eh?
Any objections?
Plenty. But I'm still here.
Well, we won't argue about that. What's your name?
Collins. Joe Collins.
Oh, I remember now. Come out from Wilcannia way.
That's the one.
Well, I could do with an experienced man, Collins. How'd you like to run the shearing and be boss?
Yeah. Yeah, you got yourself a deal.
All right. I reckon this new lot will take a bit of breaking in. Last lot I had butchered the sheep, not worth a sack 100.
Yeah, suppose this lot won't be any better. It's a shame you couldn't see eye to eye with the men on the question of the union.
I'm only a small man, Collins, compared to the holdings of the big finance companies, and I'm not about to buck them.
But why get on the wrong side of the men now that the strike's over?
Hey, I'd rather employ the men than half the rubbish I've been getting lately. But this is no longer about personalities. This is about power and who holds it.
Yeah, we can agree on that one, Mr. Brody.
Look, the best part of my life has gone into this holding, and my father's before me. What's a man to do? Shear the sheep himself? Hey? Work like a slave on his own property? No. I mean to have that wool off, Collins. But I'll see you right by the end of the season.
Yeah, Mr. Brody.
Hey.
Why didn't you tell me, Joe?
You mean about the walkout?
Yes.
Well, there wasn't an opportunity to, and I thought you'd find out soon enough.
You thought I'd find out soon enough. And you're staying on.
Yeah, there's a job to be done.
But you went to jail for a union. You sacrificed everything. I don't understand. I just...
But Mary, if you just let me explain what I'm trying to do.
You've changed. The Joe I knew would not have sold out in 1,000 years.
But Mary, all I'm trying to do is make everyone understand what happened.
I've had enough. This is no place for me.
What do you mean, Mary?
I mean, I'm giving notice right now. It's she union or else with me too. Goodbye, Joe Collins.
Hark the doctor back in love, I can't no longer stay. The men all gone mustering, and it is nearly day. And I must be off by the morning light before the sun will shine to meet the chimney shearers on the banks of the Condamine.
Oh, Willie, dearest Willie, I'll go along with you. I'll cut for my open fringe and be a shearer too. I'll cook and count your tally, love. I'll ring around your shine, and I'll wash the greasy moleskins on the banks of the Condamine.
Oh, Nancy, dearest Nancy, with me you cannot go. The squatters have given orders on the woman there to sow. Your delicate constitution is not equal unto mine to stand the coming tigering on the banks of the Condamine.
Oh, Willie, dearest Willie, then stay back home with me. We'll take up our selection and a farmer's wife I'll be. I'll help you husk the corn, love, and cook your meal so fine you'll forget the rest like mountain on the banks of the Condamine.
Oh, Nancy, dearest Nancy, please do not hold me back. Down there the woods are waiting, and I will be on the track. So
So here's a good one, Miss Love. Back on my wailing climb, when we show the love of the drum back on the banks of the Condamine.
Hey, Rosie. How are you? Still trying drunks out of the pub?
You gotta tell the boys the boss ain't putting no more beer on the slate from now on.
What? Cutting off our credit? Well, you can tell him he ain't the only creditor we've got. He'll get his last. Well, this reminds me of the old parallel about Abraham.
One of our customers?
No, he's drinking a long time back. And he did it on the blue, along with a lot of other things. And when his creditors finally caught up with him, do you know what he said to them?
No.
Do you know what he said to them? You do?
Oh, no.
No! He had someone there who knew the Bible. That's you, man. You know what he said.
What did he say?
These guys don't know a thing about the Bible, do they, Rosie? Well, I'll tell you what he said to them. When his creditors finally caught up with him, he looked them in the eyes, raised his hands and said, I have raised many sons to bear the burden. A real bloody smart fellow, that Abraham, eh?
I think you better go back to the bar.
But a good idea, Rosie.
Come here.
Mary, that's charming.
Oh, stylish, isn't it?
Yes, yes, indeed. Would have suited me at your age. A little too dressy for me now, though. I'm never one to pretend to be what I'm not. If I'm 35, I'm 35. That's what I say.
I never would have believed that.
I was just using that as an example. Oh, Mr. Dixon! How nice to see you here again.
Nice to see you too, Mum.
You are looking well.
Wonderful what a bit of soap and water will do for some blokes, eh?
Cheeky bugger. Oh, dear. Excuse me, mate. I'd like to thank you for giving us the tip-off the other night.
The tip-off?
Yeah, you remember. We was camped on Brody's run, and you gave us a tip to clear off out of it.
Yeah, I remember now. No, my warning came too late, though. You've got to thank someone else for keeping your bullocks out of the pound.
Oh, yeah. What was that bloke's name? Collins, I think it was. Yeah, I better find him and thank him too.
I don't know. Forgive me, Mary, for saying this, but I don't think we have a great deal to thank him about.
Well, what's going on?
There's been trouble at Brody's.
Oh, that wouldn't be unusual. How's Collins mixed up in it?
Well, you see, mate, we walked out on Brody on account he wouldn't share union.
Yeah.
Joe Collins, he bloody well stayed on.
It's worse than that, Dicko. Brody's made him shed boss over a bunch of black legs.
What? Oh, hell, I'd never thought that of him. Well, bloody hell. You know, a man that scabs on his mates ought to be done.
And isn't that what I've been saying so far?
Yeah.
And why should we stop at Collins? I think it's a shame and a sin on all of us if we don't redo all the shed over.
Well, I'll be in that too.
Well, I'm not altogether sure that Mr. Collins isn't right. So there.
I wish I could think that way, Miss Andrews, but
Indeed. Then what's stopping you?
well, I mean,
Mary, I don't doubt that the shearers have a good case, but when there is work to be done, it's a shame to see able-bodied men loafing around the hotel all day.
Hang on. Well, what I meant was, I mean, that place hasn't been called a hotel in 50 years, man.
It's a time for strong speaking, Mr. Tomo. I'm not unsympathetic, but the quantity of alcohol that you men imbibe daily is frightening to contemplate. Trust me, you would do your cause credit to drink tea.
Yes, Mum. Many's the time that I have tried to warn them of their low practices. Would you care to join me in a glass of raspberry vinegar?
Dixon, yeah.
oh, don't worry about Miss Andrews, boy. She really is a good sort.
You reckon?
Well,
I
that word loafer, miss, that comes a bit easy to some. Usually those who wouldn't know what hard yakka looks like.
That'll be right, too.
Well, the bush and bush people, you know, there must be a mystery to her. She's probably never tasted a strong drink in her whole life.
That's it, Mary. I think you hit the spot.
Yeah.
Look, let's just forget about her. This is supposed to be a party.
That's right.
Come on, let's liven it up a bit. Hey, Nugget. Come over here, give us a song, mate. Come on.
What can he sing?
Hey, give
Of course
us
he
a song,
can.
Nugget.
Come on. What do we have, Nugget?
Probably one of your favourites.
Yeah?
Four Little Johnny Cakes.
Yes. Oh, yes. Well done. Vicky, join us. Good girl.
Got the hiccups again.
All the drink there. All right, we'll hold you up, pal. Right, four
We
little
all ready?
Johnny cakes.
We all ready? Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Hurrah for the Lachlan boys and join us in a cheer. That's the place to go and make an easy check every year. With a toadkin in me pocket I borrowed from a friend. Oh, isn't it nice and cozy to be camping in the bay? With me little white flour bag sitting on a stump, me little tea and sugar bag looking nice and plump, a little fat codfish just off the hook, and 4 little Johnny cakes a credit to the cook. I've a loaf or 2 of bread and some Murphys that I shook, perhaps a loaf of brownie that I snappled from a cook, a nice leg of mutton, just a bit cut off the end. Oh, isn't it nice and jolly to be whaling in the bay? With me little white flour bag sitting on the stump, me little tea and sugar bag looking nice and plump, a little fat codfish just off the hook, and 4 little Johnny cakes a credit to the cook. I've got a little book and some papers for to read, plenty of matches and a good supply of weed. Oh, I wouldn't be a squatter, as beside me far I sit, with me paper in me hand and me old clay lid. With me little white flour bag sitting on a stump, me little tea and sugar bag looking nice and plump, a little fat codfish just off the hook, and 4 little Johnny cakes a credit to the cook. When shearing time comes, I'm in me glory then. I'll saddle up me moke and I soon secure a pen. Oh, I canter through the valleys and gallop o'er the plain. I shoot a turkey, stick a pig, and then it's off to camp again. With me little white flour bag sitting on a stump, me little tea and sugar bag looking nice and plump, a little fat codfish just off the hook, and 4 little Johnny cakes.
Whoa! I am proud to be the cook.
That was a good little song. Yeah, what else are we going to sing? Is there going to get another beer? Oh, geez, I don't know.
Thanks, Nugget.
Pretty good. Oh, good stuff.
All right, ladies and...
I think we need to get a bit more.
Get into it, mate.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, hey, can we have a bit of shush over there?
What's the matter?
You blokes to stop jumping over to the barrel every 5 minutes or so.
Well, it's a party.
Ladies and gentlemen, our dear school teacher, Miss Andrews, is going to give us a bit of a well, anyhow, she's going to give us a bit of a poem.
Oh,
ladies and gentlemen, Miss Andrews.
Thank you.
Come on, a bit of shush over there, fellas, a bit of shush.
Give her a go.
The brook. By Alfred, Lord Tennyson. I come from haunts
Mr. Scabby Collins will be somewhere waiting for us now. So we gotta go.
Not me, Tony. Count me out of this one.
What does that mean?
Tony, I reckon that's good enough English in any man's language. If you've got a problem with it, let's take it outside and I'll bloody well say it with ease.
All right, boys, let's go.
Do you reckon I need this?
You might need it. You might need it.
Oh, no. That was wonderful. Perhaps you might like to have a drink. Ladies and gentlemen, now would you grab your partners for the next dance, which I think will be a polka dance. Where's my little Mary? A glove, on your right.
Heel and toe.
certainly no age is trouble, no age is welcome. Who wishes to this fine specimen of a young man just here? Right here, right here.
Strong for the union and the need for working men to stick together.
Oh, Mary, did you give him a chance to explain his position? Huh?
No, I didn't. I was upset. I saw Brody hold out the bribe of shed boss and I heard Joe accept it and I saw red.
Well, did you think Joe took that job for a reason, Mary? Come on. I think Joe took that job for a purpose. What's the matter with you, Mary? Come on. Are you blind? Come on, think about it.
But if you're right, why hasn't he taken it up with the men? I mean, he'd need their help, wouldn't he?
Yes, the help that you and the boys denied him. All I've heard, Mary, the boys just about did him over last time. Do you think a fella like Joe will come back for more of the same? Huh? What's the matter with you, Mary? Come on, for God's sake. He's probably out there doing the right thing and you haven't helped him one bit. Come on, it's all right.
The men have all gone. Now, I've heard that Mr. Collins at the hotel, those men have been drinking heavily, and if they've gone down there, I think it could be.
Tomo, where's Tony and the others?
Don't tell me they're not here. Well, wouldn't that please you, right?
Oh, Tomo, pop the blimey, where the boys got to?
Well, Rosie, if I was a drinking man, I'd say they might have gone across for a glass or two. No harm in that now, is there?
Well, we've heard Joe is at the pub, is that right?
Well, now, Mary,
Oh, come on, Tomo.
I don't want to be breaking any conferences, but I never was one to say a thing ain't when it is, if you follow me.
But they're after Joe, is that right?
Well,
Well?
Tomo!
Oh, you don't have to say. Come on, Rose.
If anything has happened to Mr. Collins, I hope you regret it for the rest of your life.
Flaming women. All right, I suppose I better be in on this bloody thing too, then. Hey, come on, boss.
Where are they?
I think I'm going to need a bit of help here.
Come on.
And remember, boys, this little confrontation is a personal matter between myself and Mr. Collins.
No. You're always trying to hog things, Tony. You know, there's no divine right about this one. We'll toss for it.
Yeah. No. My family has always been opposed to gambling.
That's way too quick.
All right. Since this time is in line with my democratic outlook, let's do it. Who's calling?
Me.
Here we go. Heads.
And heads it is.
Hey, it's 2 out of 3.
Like hell it is.
This is Snowy. What?
No welshing.
All right. Let's get one thing clear. This is a question of stoush, right? The ethics of stoush demand a fair go. Collins will have his chance, have his say, and then Snowy. Understand?
There's all this fiddle-faddle about. You know what we do in Italy? You know what we do in Italy? We do the man, and then we have a glass of wine.
But mate, we're in Australia.
Never mind you. I believe in a fair go.
Oh, strike me pink.
Who's that?
There's just a few other boys.
What do you want?
A quick one.
No beer, the bar's closed.
Hey, open the door or we'll open it for you.
You'll what?
Open the door or we'll break it down.
Go and clear off or I'll put a dose of bucks on the lot of you.
Man, hey, if you want your mangy pumpkin down, you're going the right way about it.
Is Joe Collins in there?
Collins got the last drop of beer and left half an hour ago.
Where'd he go?
Told me he was leaving the district. Now clear off or I'll let the lot of you have it through the window.
Oh, shucks. Screw.
What's the strength of this one?
Collins must have turned out with Brody.
But this, I mean, it doesn't make sense, does it? The man stand out, and then he walks out. In a time like this, Brody wouldn't fire him. So all of this really doesn't make sense.
Well, did it ever occur to any of you fellas that maybe Joe couldn't stomach working with a bunch of blacklegs after all?
You might be onto something there, Nugget. That's more like the Joe we used to know. That's his form. Still, it's a good thing he's gone. Never could stick a bloke doing it wrong by his mates. Doing him over, that wasn't going to solve nothing anyway.
Oh, good night, lads. I've been looking for you all night.
Oh, really? What would you want from us, lover?
Oh, the boss wants to see you.
Does he? What about?
He wants you back on the job.
He what?
He does. Yeah, like I said, he wants you back to work.
The man knows why we walked out, doesn't he? So you little squirt, we go back to him and tell him we share union or we don't share at all.
All right, calm down, mate. Easy does it. But yeah, he said to tell me that he'd agree to that.
Does he?
Yeah. Sure? Pretty certain.
What about the blacklegs? What about the blacklegs now, eh?
Well, it seems to me you fellas have got a few things to catch up on.
Oh, do we?
Yeah.
Where's Joe?
Around in my ear, I tell you. Yeah, that's right.
Where's Joe?
How would a man know that, Mary?
What have you done to him?
What have I done? What would I do to him?
Well, you were after him.
No,
What
I was
happened
not.
to him?
We heard he was here.
He was not. I don't know where he is. Well, you know where he is?
Look, Rose, we haven't seen him.
But Jonesy saw him here.
Well, look, all right, Joe Collins is gone. Oh, he's left the district. For good.
Oh, well, as I was saying, it looks to me like you fellas have got to catch up on a few things.
Don't just stand there grinning like McGinty's roll. What's going on abroad?
Well, the first thing was Brody brought in the blacklegs and used that to cut the rate. Now that started it because a few of them were union fellas, which is something you blokes didn't take the time to find out.
Yeah,
by the way.
all right, just get on with it.
Well, I'm getting to it. Well, anyway, before you know it, Collins has held a meeting, rounded up the non-unionists, signed them up to the union, and they've all agreed to stop work.
Wow, good.
And what's more, they're not going back to work till you fellas come back.
Oh,
Yeah! Yeah!
Well, you can't beat the union when we pull together.
It sort of looks to me as if us fellas have been a bit sort of vociferous here.
What's the difference between
They're, but listen, while we're busy shaking hands with ourselves, what about Joe Collins?
Well, to cut a long story short, Brody and Collins had a first class roll over it all, and Collins was fired.
Too bad, then, eh?
Too bad, yeah, it's just too bad. Too bad. Well, I'll tell the boss you'll seem to work first thing in the morning then, shall I? Yes?
Yep.
Oh, good.
Yep, we'll be there. With Joe Collins.
Yeah. No, I don't think the boss would care for that. Fellas, no.
Well, it's one in, or all in, or bloody none.
That's right. Remember? The law of the shed?
Law of the sheds. Well, when you put it that way, I don't really think he has that much say in it now, does he?
No.
He's just going to have to stomach it.
Yeah, I reckon you're right there. Go fellas, go Union. I'll see you for work in the morning.
Worked out all right, didn't it? After all,
Fight while he lasted, wasn't it?
Yeah.
For what is concerning Joe Collins, well, I guess let it be a lesson for all of you, eh?
What? God, stiffen the bloody crows. You were the one who was screaming crook on Joe from the start. You wouldn't bloody listen to him when he tried to explain things to you, Tony.
Yeah, we've all let Joe down. Now he's gone.
Yeah, it's all right, Mary. We'll find him. We'll find him.
We've got horses to spare.
Horses, you're right.
That's
Yeah.
right.
We can't go on fast.
We got horses. Let's get it.
Joe!
Hey!
Don't go too far.
Joe! What's the strength of you, son? They told us you'd shot through.
I reckon old Bally didn't want his pub pulled in.
Good on you, mate.
Joe, I've been a fool. Can you forgive me?
I reckon Mary's got a few mates there, Joe.
Maybe I was a fool myself, Mary. And as for you blokes, don't worry about it. I saw what happened in the sheds up north, so I kind of had the wood on you.
Come on, take a poke.
Oh.
Hey? Take a poke at it, I got it coming.
Good on you, boys. Enjoying us in the sheds then, Joe?
If you blokes say so.
We've already said it, mate. We've already said it.
I'm still boss around here and don't you forget it.
All right, you lot want Joe Collins back.
Yep.
Yep.
I'll agree to that
Oh.
on one condition.
What's
Right,
that?
yeah, what's that?
You're a pretty tough bunch, all right. But from here on in, I want a fair go.
Well, if Joe's shed boss, you'll get it.
That's a deal.
Beauty. And so, boys,
Now we're back.
tomorrow we're off to work.
Back in the sheds. Beauty.
And Mary, it's time for us to sing a song.
Out on the board, the old shearer stands, thrusting his shears in his thin bony hands. Fixed is his gaze on a bare-bellied Joe, and glory if he gets so won't he make the ringer go. Click go the shears, boys, click, click, click. For wide is his blow and his hands move quick. The ringer looks around and he's beaten by a blow, and curses the old snagger with the bare-bellied yo. In the middle of the floor, in his cane-bottom chair, sits the boss of the board with his eyes everywhere. Notes well his crease as it comes to the screen, paying strict attention that it's taken off clean. Click go the shears, boys, click, click, click. For wide is his blow and his hands move quick. The ringer looks around and he's beaten by a blow, and curses the old snagger with the bare-bellied yo. Starboy is there and he's waiting in demand, with his blackened top on his tarry hands. Sees one old sheep with a cut upon his back, and here is what he's waiting for, his star here, Jack. Click go the shears, boys, click, click, click. For wide is his blow and his hands move quick. The ringer looks around and he's beaten by a blow, and curses the old snagger with the bare-bellied yo. come and drink with me. Click go the shears, boys, click, click, click. Wide is his low and his hands move quick. The ringer looks around and he's beaten by a blow, and curses the old snagger with the bare belly. Bring it home! Click go the shears, boys, click, click, click. Wide is his low and his hands move quick. The ringer looks around and he's beaten by a blow, and curses the old snagger with the belly.
Just before we do our finale, I'd just like to introduce the President of Redlands Museum, Mr. Ross Bowers.
Thank you for everybody coming along tonight. Tonight's the last of our 5 performances here. The show has been wonderful, hasn't it? Yes. It's been an experiment for us, and I think you'll agree that it's been very successful. We hope to do this sort of thing again in the future. If you enjoyed yourself, come back and visit our museum often. Tell your friends, watch the newspapers for upcoming events, and come and see us again. Thank you very much.
And here we go.
The price of wool was falling in 1891. The man who owned the acres saw something must be done. We'll break the shearers' union and show your masters still, and then take the terms we give them, or we'll find the men who will. From Claremont to Barcaldine, the shearers' hands were full. 10,000 blades were ready to strike.
much for coming. Thank you. Thank you for keeping the rain off. Yes, yes. Non-rain dance.
Enjoy yourself? Oh, good on you. It was a lot of fun to do. Thank you very much. Back on the night too, eh? Oh, well, that's good to hear.
Did you get dragged up?